If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel and another tutorial. Today I am happy to sew along with you the Uptown Swing is Sew Yours pattern. Amazing! This bag, minimal pieces to cut, so fast to put together. I swear you could get this done in a morning. So easy to do. I just love it. Now she's meant to be a really slouchy type looking bag, as you can see. One thing I did do different to the pattern is I use these metal connectors. In the pattern, it is actually a grommet and a gate ring. I did not have any gate rings. I had O-rings, but not gate rings, and I really didn't want to wait and miss the launch of this pattern by waiting for those gate rings. So in this video, I do use these, which I got from Emmaline bags. What I wanted to do is because the gate ring actually goes through this whole layer here. You can see where the deckable heavy in there is for stability. And I was hoping I could just use one of these connectors for each side, but the connector's not wide enough. So I ended up using 4. So I guess that opts it for having 2 handles if I wanted to do it, but this still works really good. I honestly think doing the grommets would have been easier than putting these connectors on, just to be really transparent there. The only other thing I did different in this pattern was how I did the zipper. I do it pretty much the same as Melissa does. The only difference is she has a zipper end that you make to put on it, and you put the zipper on with the zipper pull on. I ended up using a metal zipper end, so I did my usual of when I take the pull off and I put the zipper on each panel and then put the zipper pull back on later on. So 2 options of how you can do it based on your preference. So check out her video as well as my video and decide what works for you. Yeah, hardest part of this bag, the zipper, but it really wasn't that bad. You just got to be really careful that you can see how it kind of curves up, that you are not stretching the zipper. Use a zipper foot to get a really even seam allowance so you don't end up getting a wavy zipper. Mine ended up perfect, not wavy at all. On the inside, we have a slip pocket and a zipper pocket, and she is quite roomy inside. Whoopsies. I'm working opposite from the camera. Nope. This way. There we go. So yeah, I really love this bag. Now let's talk about what makes this bag. So it is written to be a slouchy bag. Softer vinyls or cottons or canvases are what's recommended. I used a Luxxe vinyl from Galaxy Customs. It's just perfect for this. I do not remember this color, but Luxxe Vinyls, Galaxy Customs website, all linked down below. Cotton lining is recommended. Again, that is to make it so there's nothing to stick in here, so you get this classic hobo look. So talking about interfacing, this just takes minimal pieces to cut, minimal interfacing. So for the Luxxe vinyl, all it is interfaced with is a woven interfacing. I used EB Fuse Light from Emmaline bags, which is similar to an SF101 on all of my exterior pieces. And that is it. And of course, my cotton pieces are also lined with the same interfacing. But besides that, that is the only interfacing. You do not need anything else. And look how amazing it turned out. Like, oh, fast to cut out, fast to interface, fast to sew. You could get this done in a morning, no problem. So all my hardware is from Emmaline bags. My zippers and zipper pulls are from Emmaline bags as well. My cotton, I don't know, it was just something I had in my stash. Of course, I didn't have any selvages on it, so I don't know what it was called. It was only a small scrap piece. And again, this lovely Luxxe vinyl is from Emmaline, or not Emmaline, Galaxy Customs. Thank you so much, Melissa, for allowing me to make this tutorial, especially for the launch of this another one of your amazing patterns. I just adored Sew Yours patterns so very much. Remember, if at any time you do like this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and how about we get to making this bag?
You are going to need some rivets, number 5 zipper tape, 2 swivel clasps. I'm substituting in 4 of these metal connectors, 2 zipper pulls, optional strap ends, optional zipper end, and your nameplate. You're going to need your handle piece, your lining zipper and slip pocket pieces, your 2 main lining pieces, your pattern piece A, 2 of those cut mirror to one another with the deckable heavy as per the pattern, your exterior piece B pieces to those mirrored to one another, again with the deckable heavy as per the pattern. I'm going to go ahead and do my handle off camera. If you need a class on how to do that, it's in the description. So the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to transfer all the marks from your pattern A and pattern B pieces to your pieces like I have done here. Make sure you have them labeled well. Next, what we're going to do is take our pattern piece A pieces, put it right sides together like so, and clip the side that will be the center of the bag. You're going to repeat this exact same thing with your pattern piece B pieces, so you'll have the front and the back, and then we're going to go ahead and sew those together with the seam allowance stated in the pattern. Once that is done, what we want to do is we want to open up the seam. You can use a seam roller like this and give it a good press. If you're using cotton, you could take it to an iron if you wanted to. I'm going to use some double-sided tape here. Only do this if your machine is not sensitive to double-sided tape. And I'm going to lay that seam nice and flat on both our front and back pieces. Once we have that done, we're going to go ahead and we're going to top stitch down each side of the seam for both the front and back exterior pieces. This is what those look like done. I also went ahead and put my nameplate in as per the pattern piece. Now we're going to prep our zipper tape, and I do this slightly different than the pattern. So my zipper tape without my pull on the wrong side, on the right hand side, I'm putting a 1-inch line that'll help me get my pull on nice and straight later. And on the opposite side, with it right side up, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kind of fold this over upon itself at a 90-degree angle. I think that's a 90-degree angle, and hold it with a pin and do the same on the opposite side, making sure they are nice and even. And then I'm going to go ahead and baste that in place. Once that's basted, you can cut off the wings so it's nice and even with the zipper tape and pull your zipper tape apart. So I'm going to start with my front piece. I'm going to follow those marks that we had marked or clipped when we were prepping our pieces. Now I have my zipper tape right side down and my exterior piece right side up. My zipper is the curvy part that we just basted in place is going to the left, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clip this around that curve. Now be very careful that you do not stretch your zipper tape here, or else you will end up with a wavy zipper. So just kind of ease it around nicely. Do not put snips in there because you don't want that zipper to fray. And on the tail end, you're going to make sure it kind of veers off like I have done. Now for the back piece, we're doing the exact same thing, except for the curvy side will be on the right hand side. Again, these are right sides together, and this is so they will be mirrored to one another, so our zipper will actually close properly. So again, being careful not to stretch that zipper tape, clip it on from mark to mark, and when you get to the tail side of the mark, make sure that your tails are veering off, because we do not want that tail to get caught in the stitching. I'm just going to clip my tails out of the way like so, just so I know they're going to stay veered off and they won't get in the way. When you put these wrong sides together, they should match up, which mine do. Once you're satisfied with how they look, you're going to go ahead and baste these in place. Now, I would suggest switching into a zipper foot. That'll help get your zipper nice and straight with an even seam allowance later on. Having a stiletto here to help hold that zipper tape in place to get around those curves really help as well. Now, I haven't put on my zipper foot just yet as I am just basting, but I probably should have. But the next step when we go to sew this actually to the lining, you will see I put on my zipper foot. So go ahead and baste these in place. Once you have them both basted in place, I'm going to once again just kind of match up the centers here and make sure that my zippers line up, and they do. So you can go ahead and we're going to tuck those zipper tails in so they're not caught in the sewing. We're putting these two panels right sides together, and we are going to clip down the left and the right side as well as the bottom. Once everything is clipped in place, you're going to sew with the seam allowance down the left side, the right side, and the bottom side, but do not worry about those corners just yet. That's that all done. Now what we want to do is we want to box these corners. So you're going to bring the bottom seam and the side seams nice and centered together like so, opening up those seams for a less bulky corner. Clip that in place. You'll do the same with the opposite side. Again, bringing together that bottom seam and the side seam, opening up those seams like so, making sure they're matched up, clip in place. And then you're going to take it to the machine and you're going to sew those box corners shut. Or closed with the seam allowance in the pattern. I'm also going to go in with a second row of stitching just to make those corners a little bit stronger. So that's what that looks like all done. You can go ahead and you can turn this right side out. Make sure you pop out those corners nicely. Make sure they turned out great. And mine matched up perfectly. Such an easy exterior, fast exterior to do. So you can go ahead and you can put the exterior aside for now. Okay, so I've already gone ahead and I've done my lining pocket and my zipper pocket, leaving my zipper pocket open. Now, I did do this different mainly because I have carpal tunnel really bad. So I'm going to show you an alternative way of putting this together for an easy turn. So you're going to leave an opening in the bottom of the zipper pocket. You're going to take your lining pieces and you are just going to clip the left and right sides. We are not going to worry about the bottom for now. Now, if you are following the pattern, you will just leave an opening in the bottom of the lining. Definitely you can go ahead and do that, but to save my arms because I'm having a really bad attack with my carpal tunnel, I'm going to leave that bottom completely open and we will close that off later on through the zipper pocket. So here we go, that's all done. Now what we want to do is take our exterior right side out and our lining wrong side out, and we're going to put them right sides together like so, putting the exterior in. We're going to match up those front centers and the back centers, and then the side centers, opening up those seams. Super easy to do with minimal interfacing. There is no bulk in this whatsoever. And the other side, as you know, I like to clip quarter sections, and then I just have to ease the fabric in between those quarter sections to evenly distribute that fabric. Now, because we do have that top zipper, make sure the teeth are behaving and they're going downwards. We do not want those teeth to get caught in that seam allowance. That would be no good. So just be very aware where that zipper is. I'm kind of using my thumbs to make sure it's where it needs to be, and using lots of clips to clip that in place from quarter section to quarter section. So continue that all the way around, distributing that fabric evenly for each quarter section. All right, so this is it all clipped. Now, I'm going to be taking this to my cylinder arm, but if I was on my flatbed, I would be sewing from the inside this way. But if you're on a flatbed or have a free arm, you can do it like me and go through the outside here. Now on my cylinder arm, I have put on my zipper foot here. This is to help achieve a straight zipper and an accurate seam allowance, and I'm going to go all the way around here with the seam allowance stated in the pattern. So that is all done. So now what we're going to do is turn this out. See how easy that is to turn right side out with that full lining open in the bottom. It's definitely an arm saver. Poke out those top ends where the handles are going to connect. Make sure all the seams are pressed out really good, especially in those corners. And then go ahead and stuff the lining into the bag. And we're going to prepare it for top stitching. So I'm going to roll that seam by the zipper and where the lining and the exterior meets with my fingers, making sure it's a nice crisp seam, and I'm going to hold that seam in place with some clips. You can make sure everything is pressed out nicely. Now when I get to the zipper part, you want to make sure that that lining is tucked in really good. You do not want it to get in the way of the zipper, so we want to make sure it's top stitched in place really well. I like to use these really big clips that I got on Amazon to kind of hold everything in place around that zipper. The small clips just aren't quite big enough to do this, so I'm finger pressing, making sure everything is going in place all the way around. Once everything looks good, I'm going to take this over to my cylinder arm once again, and I am going to top stitch all the way around, making sure not to catch those zipper tails in your top stitching. That's the top stitching. My zipper looks nice and straight, which is great. Now you can reach in through that zipper pocket, pull the entire bottom of the bag up through that zipper pocket, and now we're going to close up the bottom and box off those corners. So first you're going to sew the straight edge, just like we did with the exterior, and then you're going to go ahead and you are going to, once you've done that, then you'll come back and you will box those corners and sew those shut as well. So that's the bottom done. Go ahead and stuff it back in through that pocket. Make sure it looks good, and it does. And then you can go ahead and you can close up your zipper pocket. Now I've matched up my lines here that we did on the back of the zipper tape to put my zipper pull on nice and straight. She looks good. This is where you would go and install those grommets and all that, but I didn't have grommets, or I didn't have the gate rings, so I put these metal rings on. I ended up using 4. I put on my zipper end, and that is it. That is how fast that bag is to make, and look how gorgeous she is. Such a fast and satisfying sew. And that's it, we are done. All right, that's it, that's all. Fast tutorial, huh? I mean, amazing. Just love it. So again, if you did like this tutorial, please do give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. If you want to support my channel further, you could always buy me a coffee. That is linked down below on how to do that. And also check out the membership site in case there's something there that sparks your interest as well. Anyways, until the next one, I'll catch you guys again. Bye.